So I'm killing my flashlight for a little bit. This probably would have been worth like 8. Time to head back the way we came. I swear to God, I just heard someone. Oh my God. Oh shit. Actually, I just went out. Oh, come on. Please, come on.
Exploring an abandoned building is a chilling experience, but spending the night alone inside a frozen insane asylum takes terror to a whole new level. Tonight, we follow one explorer's journey into the heart of a decaying institution, where the extreme cold is the least of his worries. Meet the creator behind the YouTube channel Uncharted Travel, where he documents his solo adventures into forgotten and dangerous locations. His goal is to push his own limits, often spending the night with minimal supplies to truly experience the places he explores. From eerie industrial ruins to forgotten homes, he captures the haunting decay of these locations. But in his attempt to conquer a massive abandoned asylum in the dead of a Canadian winter, he would soon discover that he was not the only one braving the cold. The journey began with a 2-hour drive north into a remote part of Ontario, where the snow-covered landscape set the stage for the challenge ahead. Arriving with only a few hours of daylight left, he knew he had to move quickly. His mission was twofold: document the asylum and establish a shelter to survive a night where temperatures were expected to plummet to a life-threatening -20 degrees Celsius.
Alright, so here's the deal. We've arrived at the front gate and it's about 3:30 right now, and I have a 20-minute hike to the actual location. The sun sets here around 5:30, 6 o'clock, so that means I have about 2 or so hours to get as much footage as I can in the daylight and navigate the place. Last night it got around to about -20 here. Tonight it's expected to be about the same. So as you can guess, it's going to be a rough one. The theme of episode 1 was to survive the wildlife and coyotes. The theme of episode 2 is going to be again to survive, but this time the cold. So we're going to try and take the brunt of this Canadian winter and last with the supplies I've brought.
As he approached the main gate on foot, a chilling discovery was made. The roads within the complex had been freshly plowed. This was a clear sign that someone was still maintaining the grounds, and a stealthy approach was now more critical than ever. He had to hope that his visit would go completely unnoticed. After finding a small window to squeeze through, he was inside. The sheer size of the asylum was overwhelming, and the hallways were a treacherous maze of collapsed ceilings and debris. The biting cold had coated nearly every surface in a thick layer of ice, making each step a calculated risk.
Oh.
Constructed in 1896, this sanitarium housed over 400 live-in residents in its prime. The area was chosen for its remote location, where patients could take in plenty of fresh air and sunlight, two things which were believed to be vital for tuberculosis patients at this time.
This looks like the front lobby. It looks like everything's covered in at least a solid 3 to 4 inches of ice. So I hope it's stable enough for me to walk on.
With temperatures in the area being consistently below freezing, any mold spores caused by seasonal flooding should be dormant and of little danger to me. That being said, there were still several other hazardous substances in this building that I needed to avoid directly inhaling.
The building had a dark history, first serving as a tuberculosis sanitarium in 1896 before being converted into an asylum for the insane. It was a place of immense suffering, and its oppressive atmosphere was palpable. As he explored the decaying patient rooms and long dark corridors, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The deeper he ventured, the more the building's oppressive silence began to play tricks on his mind. The only sounds were the howling wind outside and the crunch of ice under his boots. Then a sharp, distinct sound cut through the quiet.
I began to understand just how alone I was.
I swear I just heard something tapping on one of the windows. creepy. So I just heard some tapping on one of the windows outside. So I'm hoping it's not maintenance people. So I'm killing my flashlight for a little bit. I'm just gonna have a look outside. Sounded like it was coming from this direction, but like at the base of the building. I doubt they'd come in here, but I'm just trying to be safe. Oh. That's weird.
He heard what sounded like tapping on a window from somewhere below. Freezing in place, he killed his flashlight and peered out into the darkness, but saw nothing. He tried to dismiss it as falling ice or the building settling, but the sound was too deliberate. Despite his growing fear, he pressed on, knowing that with the sun setting, he was running out of time to find a place to spend the night. After a difficult search, he located a small maintenance room on the roof to make his camp. It offered 3 walls for shelter, but the door was missing, leaving him exposed to the elements. With his camp set for the night, he decided to uphold a tradition for his channel, a nighttime exploration into the building's most terrifying area.
Now, with the tradition of the Alone series, I do want to show you guys a part of this insane asylum that I haven't shown you yet during the day. And that's because it's a little bit tricky to find. And that is the cafeteria. So our objective right now is I'm going to, keeping up with the tradition, venture out into the depths of this location at night while it is pretty dark. And unfortunately my flashlight is on its last legs. But I will have to go into the basement, I believe, and cross through the tunnels to get into the cafeteria because it's all boarded up from the outside.
Armed with a dying flashlight, he descended into the pitch-black basement, determined to find the asylum's hidden cafeteria by navigating a network of flooded, underground tunnels. The journey through the tunnels was a nightmare. His only light source flickered erratically as he navigated the icy, partially flooded corridors. Suddenly, he froze. A sound echoed from the darkness ahead of him, a sound that could not be mistaken for the wind.
Time to head back the way we came. Hello? I swear to God, I just heard someone. I swear I just heard someone over here. Or something, maybe an animal, I don't know. I guess it was nothing.
It sounded like a voice. Heart pounding, he called out, but was met with only silence. As fear took hold, his flashlight gave out, plunging him into total darkness deep beneath the asylum. Using the faint, flickering light of his head-mounted camera, he scrambled back through the tunnels, the unsettling sound replaying in his mind. Although he made it back to his shelter and survived the brutally cold night, the question of what he heard in those tunnels remains unanswered. Was it another explorer, a security guard making their rounds, or something else entirely? Trapped alone in a frozen asylum, any encounter could have been his last. The mystery of the voice in the dark serves as a terrifying reminder that when you step into a place left to decay, you are never truly alone. Venturing deep into the woods can unearth pieces of the past, but what happens when the history you find is more horrifying than historical? Tonight, we're exploring a disturbing discovery made deep in an isolated forest. This footage will make you question what secrets lie hidden just off the beaten path. Meet Bill, the creator behind the YouTube channel Bill Lad Dig Fellas. Through his videos, he and his friends take viewers on adventures into the wilderness, searching for old foundations and forgotten historical sites. Their explorations often uncover fascinating remnants of the past, from old stone walls to crumbling structures. With a passion for history and discovery, Bill captivates his audience. But one day, he and his friend would stumble upon a place whose recent history was far more sinister than they could have ever imagined. The day started like any other exploration, with Bill and his friend hiking deep into the woods, following an old wagon trail they hoped would lead to historical ruins. For 2 miles they pressed on, surrounded by nothing but the silence of the forest. Then they saw something completely unexpected, the roof of a structure standing where nothing should be.
Yeah, that's a good sign. A stone wall might be something.
There is something right there. It looked like a roof or something right there.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, we're 2 miles in the woods. Why is there no roof out here? What the heck?
What's that?
Maybe it's an old hunting shack or something.
Oh, no. Mira, mi gente. Ahí hay una casita de las antiguas.
Look how they had everything all locked up, like they were locking someone in here.
Mira si pueden ver.
As they drew closer, they realized it was an abandoned cabin. The windows were boarded up and the doors were heavily secured, giving them the chilling impression that it was designed not just to keep people out, but perhaps to keep someone in. Despite their unease, they found a way inside, stepping into the darkness of the dilapidated structure. The air was heavy and stagnant, and a feeling of dread immediately washed over them. In one room, they found an old metal bed frame, but what surrounded it sent a chill down their spines. Ropes were hanging from the ceiling, tied into what looked disturbingly like nooses.
Oh, damn. There's a bed in there still. What? This is messed up, dude.
Ahí hay una cama, señores. Yeah, I know, right? Looks like, wow, that doesn't look good. Looks like somebody killed himself.
Look at that. What are the ropes all about?
You think I can go inside?
Yeah, go ahead. Is somebody kidnapped or what? Ew, still got his shoes there. Yeah. Dude, look, those ropes are creeping me out. There's a noose on it. Was someone kidnapped in here? They could have been holding some girl hostage. You
Miren, mucha, aquí en esta cosa rara, en esta casa antigua, se ven unas cuerdas colgando como que alguien tuvo amarrado a alguien.
We're 2 miles into the woods, dude. This could be a perfect place for someone to be hostage, kidnapped. Those newspapers were 1973. These things look old too. These are old magazines and newspapers. Who could live out here? This is old. That bed frame is like turn of this. That's like 100-year-old bed or more.
It is, yeah, of course.
People still want those.
Their minds began to race with grim possibilities. Was this the site of a suicide, or something far more sinister, like a kidnapping? The discovery of old newspapers dated 1973 confirmed the cabin had been abandoned for decades, yet the scene felt unnervingly fresh. As they moved deeper into the cabin, exploring what appeared to be a kitchen and another small room, the oppressive atmosphere grew thicker. The place was filled with antique furniture, now rotting away, a silent testament to the life that was once lived there. They couldn't shake the feeling that this isolated cabin was the perfect place for someone to hide from the law, or to hold someone captive.
Yeah, I know.
We could fall right through. Plus there's a tree on the roof. This is like the kitchen area.
Like, how come people live in these little places like this?
They're running from the law, maybe.
Wow.
They're kidnapping women.
Yeah.
This is some weird stuff.
What's this, Bill?
Oh, that's an old bread box, but they put it on the wall.
Looks like where they save the money.
Light up the front of it. It's a bread box. My grandmother had one of them, but they nailed it to the wall. Look, they just use a stick. Oh. Can you light up?
I found a hammer right there.
Yeah, that's what they killed the girl with.
Wow.
Blood
Well,
up.
that's not a joke.
No, I know. This is a creepy place. Look at this old...
Señores, si pueden ver, ahí hay un martillo. Ahí hay un martillo.
It is broken up. What the hell were they doing? Some, like, bum was squatting here, or
Look, the
kidnapping people.
Wood ladder right there.
Yeah. all antique furniture in here. This is some weird stuff, dude.
Wow.
I don't get this place.
Look. Somebody's jinx right there.
Jinx is the right word. I feel like I gotta get out of this place. Ew, don't even touch that. Oh, nasty.
Somebody's pillow right there. So if you see the jinx right there and the pillows right there, that person dead already. Wow, that's weird. Wow. Esto da hasta miedo. So scary, no?
Just as they were contemplating the dark history of the cabin, the unthinkable happened. A loud crash echoed through the small space as an old chair violently flipped over on its own, as if thrown by an unseen force.
So, but
Let's get the hell out of here, dude. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the hell?
oh my god! Oh god! What was that?
What the hell? Don't.
Oh god!
Jesus, that ain't funny. That thing just flipped open.
Esa vaina sí me asustó y sí valí, gorro.
That's an old chair. Light that chair up. Look at that. That's a cool looking chair. That's probably very collectible, right? Carrying this stuff out of here.
Yeah.
Ah, what the frick? I felt like a freaking hand. It's a piece of wire. What's weird is that
The sudden, inexplicable event sent a jolt of pure fear through both of them. It was as if the cabin itself was reacting to their presence, warning them away. Shaken, they continued their search, but the discoveries only grew more disturbing. They noticed the bed, which after more than 40 years still had blankets on it, as if its last occupant had just stepped away. Then, in a horrific final discovery, they found bags of clothes, some of which were stained with what looked unmistakably like dried blood.
tarp. Look at this, shirts and stuff still in bags.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I hope that
Oh,
ain't
that's
blood.
blood right there.
Oh,
Allá hay
Jesus.
sangre, miren muchachos, por la gran vida, ¿qué
There's
pasó aquí?
blood all over the bed right here, too.
Oh god.
Let's get the hell out of here, dude.
Dude,
There's
esto está malo, aquí hay
bloody
sangre.
clothes in a bag.
Esa es sangre, miren, miren. Yo sabía que algo había pasado aquí. Yo, vámonos de aquí a la baby ya.
I've had enough.
Let's get out of here. Sangre, martillo y cuerdos ahí colgando en una cama abandonada.
They're
Let's
gonna
go.
kill us. They're gonna kill us if they catch us here. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What?
It's a head. A wreck.
Oh, what is this?
Scared.
¿Qué madres es eso?
Scared the crap out of me.
Oh my god.
Friggin' body.
What?
Jesus.
Oh my god, that looks like...
It looks like a real skull.
Wow.
This is nasty. Dude,
It
let's
looks-
get the hell out
Wow,
of
looks
here.
like... Oh my god.
Let's get
That was the final straw. They knew they had to get out immediately. Although both of them left the location, the chilling questions remain. What truly happened in that cabin all those years ago? Were the bloody clothes and nooses evidence of a brutal murder or a kidnapping that ended in tragedy? And what caused that chair to move so violently? Was it a lingering spirit warning them away or something else? The mystery of the bloody cabin in the woods remains unsolved, a dark secret swallowed by the forest. Some historical sites are best left in the past. While Bill and his friends set out to find old foundations, they instead found what felt like a forgotten crime scene, frozen in time. Their instincts to flee likely kept them safe from whatever darkness still lingered in that cabin. One thing is for sure, they unearthed a story far more terrifying than any history they had hoped to find, and it's a place they will never be returning to. Venturing into the mountains is a challenge for the brave, but the real fear isn't the altitude or the treacherous paths. It's the unsettling evidence of who or what might have been there just before you. Tonight we'll follow one explorer whose search for a haunted hotel led him to something far more unnerving. Meet Franco, the adventurer behind the YouTube channel Franco Travels. He takes his audience to remote and often dangerous locations, uncovering forgotten histories and testing the limits of his own courage. From desolate landscapes to decaying structures, his explorations capture the raw reality of stepping into the unknown. But on this particular day, a trip high into the Chilean mountains would push his instincts to the brink. On a trip to Chile, Franco ventured 7,000 feet up into the mountains, a place so high that the peaks below disappeared into the clouds. He was in search of a legendary haunted hotel, but the journey itself was already unsettling.
Pretty much roughly about 7,000 feet up in the air. And as you can see, all the mountains in the backdrop, it is so high that I came from the very bottom, and the higher I kept going, the mountains started to disappear because I was going above them. I haven't really felt too much altitude sickness since I've been up here, but apparently there's supposed to be a haunted hotel way up in the mountains, pretty much where I'm at. And I don't know which one it is. It is kind of creepy. Another thing too, as I was coming up the mountain, I kept seeing graves of people that passed away on the side of the road. I don't know what that's about. Could have been car accidents coming up here because it's a very narrow road coming up towards this area. But I'm talking about there was a ton of graves coming up through here, but I couldn't stop because the roads are so treacherous. So many times cars fall off the mountain and just keep going down, and you're gone. So it's one of those things that you kind of got to be careful for.
The winding, narrow road to the summit was lined with countless graves, stark memorials to those who had fallen off the treacherous cliffs. The atmosphere was heavy with a sense of isolation and past tragedy, setting a grim stage for the exploration that awaited him. After arriving, he soon found a cluster of abandoned buildings tucked away from the main path. He cautiously made his way inside, where the chilling remnants of past occupants immediately put him on edge. The first structure he entered appeared to be a common area or kitchen. Old skis and a set of dominoes were scattered about, but it was the kitchen counter that sent a shiver down his spine.
Isn't that cool? I was actually thinking about buying some, but I didn't have anybody to play with. Look at this. It's an old pot out here. Look at this. There's a lot of... I know it's a kitchen, but this actually makes me nervous in case I do run into somebody. All it takes is something like that, or like this, to nick an artery. And you can tell it's been used a lot, and they broke the tip of the handle. I've been playing this game Ready or Not. It's got me paranoid. I'm more than sure that people sleep here. Look, oh my god. What do you think about this? There's knives everywhere. Look at this one. And there's another knife over here.
It was littered with knives, not just one or two, but several, left out as if ready for use. The sight instantly made him nervous, realizing how vulnerable he was if he were to encounter someone here. As he moved deeper into the connected rooms, the discoveries grew more personal and more disturbing. He found expensive jackets tossed in a corner, boots, cologne, and even an old Xbox game. The presence of these items suggested the place might not be as abandoned as it seemed.
Let's go with this room first, though. Some more jackets. Oh wow, these are expensive jackets. Look at that. They're just kind of thrown in there. Some good boots back there in the bottom. I don't know what that is. Feel why. I don't know what this is. I'm actually kind of conflicted. I don't know if somebody's actually still living here or not. And a Sonic game. This is a pretty cool find. Of course, I'm not keeping anything. I'm just exploring and looking. Oh, what is this? Oh, shit. This could be drugs. See that? Baggies for either pills, whatever it could be. Let's see what's back here.
His unease turned to genuine alarm when he stumbled upon small plastic baggies. The possibility of stumbling upon a criminal hideout in such a remote location was a terrifying thought. The feeling of being watched intensified with every step. As daylight faded rapidly, Franco's search for the haunted hotel seemed fruitless. Just as he was considering leaving, a car appeared on the lonely mountain road. The driver, a local stranger, confirmed that several abandoned houses in the area were rumored to be haunted.
All right, here comes somebody. Hopefully it's not bandits. That could be them. Okay, so it is now completely dark, and the car that just came in was not the owner, but he was like, oh, there's a couple of houses here that are known to be pretty haunted and are also abandoned. Do check out this house. And he pointed at me the one house that I seen, and then he pointed at me this house, and he was like, good luck, because down there it's completely vacant. I didn't even see it. It's completely dark. It's almost impossible. It's actually impossible to see. He pointed and he just go down there. I'm like,
he pointed Franco toward a path that was now completely consumed by darkness, indicating a large vacant house hidden from view. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, Franco switched to his night vision camera and headed toward the location, alone in the pitch black wilderness. The house was massive and in a state of total collapse. Inside, the floor was almost entirely gone, forcing him to balance on the remaining support beams over a dark, gaping basement. A single chair sat eerily in the middle of a room, a sight so unsettling it sent his mind racing.
holy crap, this place is huge. I'm just stepping on the frame of what used to be a floor. I actually thought that was a person. I was like, what the fuck is that? Random chair. That's creepy though. I think this reminds me of Peru when I was kind of exploring the cemetery there. And some person was just sitting on a chair in the middle of a graveyard. Good thing about these floors is that if anybody is in here and they move, I'm gonna hear them. Some sort of oven or a heater. Could be a water heater. Oh my god, I am really high up. There's an underground here, so I gotta be careful. I really don't want this floor to collapse. What is this? Oh, there's a rat. Jesus Christ, that scared me. Okay.
The creaking of the structure was deafening, but it also served as an early warning system. If anyone else was inside, their slightest movement would give them away. Suddenly, a rat scurried from the darkness, startling him and sending his heart racing. The combination of the collapsing structure, the creepy objects, and the unseen animals in the dark created an overwhelming sense of dread. Realizing the extreme danger of the crumbling house and with the altitude sickness setting in, Franco decided it was time to retreat from the mountain. He had found no ghosts, but the evidence of recent human activity, the sheer number of weapons, and the potential for a hostile encounter were far more terrifying. Who were the people staying in these remote cabins, and what were they hiding from? While spirits can be frightening, they can't physically harm you. The same can't be said for desperate people hiding out in the wilderness. Franco's instincts told him to leave before he found out firsthand who was using those knives. It was a wise decision, leaving the mountain's dark secrets and its potential inhabitants undisturbed. That's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe and let us know your thoughts about these encounters in the comments below.